Benetti, you and I can commiserate on having to carry one Robbie Hummel and how much our backs hurt. Can we not?
I'm a frail young man. I don't have the energy for this. And that's why, we split up every once in a while. I just can't carry him year to year. I need a break. I need a humble sabbatical.
I see the axis of evil came together at the NCAA reveal.
It did. It
That,
did.
yeah, the neck
And
brace.
and
Yes.
here's the thing, Benetti. I want to show you this. So the Hummel bobblehead is just like the Hummel in real life. It cannot withstand a fall. It cannot. It fell off my desk, and this is what happened.
Jason, you
One
know what
arm
that looks
gone.
like, though? That looks like the David sculpture now. So now that I have no arms, I'm feeling like it's better, honestly. I think it's better.
Having read about Michelangelo, he was a huge basketball fan and actually a big Boilermaker fan.
Yeah, I think I heard
He
that.
he went to a Purdue Pete tryout back in the day in Athens or something, and didn't make the cut, but he's always been a fan.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I
All right.
heard
Well,
that too.
Yeah.
listen, for anyone that doesn't know, Jason Benetti, obviously the voice of many sports. I will say this, whether he's on here or not, as good as anybody, period, doing what he does, period. Like
Hey,
anybody.
and Jeff, big news today. There's a big
Yes.
announcement today.
I was going to get to that. You want to steal the thunder?
You wanted to bury the lead, so I had to take charge.
No,
But
I
go
mean,
ahead.
Jason Benetti signs a lucrative deal that is a a lot of commas in this deal to go to NBC right now. And congrats, man. Congrats. You've earned it.
Yes.
You've earned it. You've done it the right way. You are a
Thank
pleasure to
you.
watch, be around, unlike the other two co-hosts that I can talk about right now.
Yeah, there's only one person on this podcast that doesn't work for NBC. There's only one.
That's
Okay.
true.
That's
There's
me.
only
Thank
one.
God. And thank
Okay.
God for that.
Yeah. It's you,
And
Mr.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Congrats, though, Benetti.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words and the roast. My apologies for my internet. I'm in a hotel room in Columbus, Ohio. It's a little bit janky as well, but thank you sincerely for saying what you said. And Robert, you're stuck with me again.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that. I think I know what hotel you're in.
Do you?
I think I can tell from your background. I think I've been there before. Does it
Yeah.
border the Olentangy River?
It does
It
not.
doesn't? Oh, I
No,
thought it
it's
was
not
that.
on
Oh
the banks
man.
of the Olentangy. No,
Yes.
I'm downtown by the State House.
Oh, see, I really was off. I would have bet money that you were in the Columbus Marriott, but
Yeah, no, it does have
I'm
that. It has
lost.
shades of Columbus Marriott for
It
sure.
does. It does feel that. It does feel that.
All right, let's get to it
Um,
here.
but you know what I love?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Jeff, every couple years, Robbie and I join the same network, and then like I left one time, and then he left another time, and now we're back together. The on again, off again. There's a little like Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks thing going on here. I kind of love it.
Hey, but yeah, I left him in such a bad spot. He works with Bill Raftery. What a tough place to be left in,
I know
What a
that's
tough
the
place.
thing. I mean, you're gonna miss working with a true pro in Raft, and now having to deal with a complete slapdick like Robbie Hummel again.
So I
That's true.
I don't know that Raf has ever used that term. But can I say here, this is important to me. Bill Raftery is the most generous person I've ever met.
Yeah.
He could easily rest on being Bill Raftery and watch a little tape or even a medium amount of tape. And the amount of times I see him watching tape for games from 3 weeks from now, Robbie knows it from that game we did last year, the three of us. Like, I love that man. I know a lot of people in America do without knowing him, but if you knew him, you'd love him more.
Mm. Totally agree.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
he's incredible. He's about as genuine as it gets, and like you said,
Yeah.
like he has time for everybody. And if you need his help on anything, that guy like won't even flinch, won't even flinch. So you'll miss him. And again, not to say you and Rob will be phenomenal again. I hate to say good things about Rob on this podcast.
Thanks,
I
Jeff.
hate it.
Thanks.
Pains me now.
I got the Jupiter Hills hat on where Raph lives. Jupiter Hills.
Oh, there we go. There we go, Raph.
I was gonna wear. I got a T-shirt a couple weeks ago. I saw somebody had it on. I was gonna wear this for you, Benetti, for your baseball expertise. There was a Glavin and I think it was
Maddox.
It was Glavin Maddox.
Steve
I don't think
Avery.
it had Smoltz on it or Avery. I think it's just Glavin Maddox. But man, like I'm gonna try to get back into baseball now a little bit. It's hard. I mean, you follow one sport this much, it's hard to kind of then invest, especially when your wife.
Aren't you like a diehard like Red Sox, New England?
No. I love Francona. I actually covered the Red Sox for years. I will say this, and I don't know if you agree with me, Benetti, but I've said this publicly. Of any coach manager of any sport at any level, I will say Terry Francona is the best I've ever been around.
He's pretty high on my list too. I mean, he is a phenomenal guy. Two things. Number one, you notice how quickly Jeff stopped trying to get into baseball? He said, I'm going to try to get into baseball. And then he said, it's really hard. It was like a 3-second span.
Yeah, he couched it.
The weather's great here in Charleston. I'm not sitting in my house in Charleston all day to watch baseball. I'm just not.
Humble brag, Charleston.
You can start. You have no plans on Sunday night.
Who's your favorite? Who is your favorite? I want to go around the horn here for all of us. We'll start with this. Who is your favorite person to be around? And you can't say Payne or Hummel, but who's your favorite coach, manager, any level that you've ever been around?
Who wants to go first?
Oh,
anybody can jump in when you've got an answer.
I mean, I guess so. If Painter's not allowed to say, or if
you can't
Robbie's
say Billy,
not allowed to say Painter, I can't say Coach Donovan.
No, you can't say Billy, you idiot.
Okay,
no,
all right.
Come on,
idiot. Okay, all right.
Throwing the names around. I think I know who mine is. I'll go Tom Izzo. He gets it. He sometimes I actually have him right here. He'll write keys to the game. There are 10 keys to the game here. Like, what other coach has taken the time to do that? And he does it for a lot of the games. He either thinks that we're total morons and need the help, or he's just thoughtful. I'm going to hope that it's the second one. But he just totally understands that, like, all right, TV's not trying to screw him. We're just trying to do the best job of promoting his program. And I think his feel for that. And also, I just appreciate what a ambassador he is for the Big Ten. So Tom Izzo for sure for me.
So basketball, I would say Painter. I think Matt is as genuine of a guy as is out there. I don't want to leave him off because Robbie can't say him, but I do think Matt is as genuine of a guy as is out there. For football, college football, I need to mention this one too because I think the guy is so fascinating. Dave Aranda at Baylor.
Really?
Dave was the defensive coordinator for the Ed Ogeron LSU team that won the national championship, a little more than a half a decade ago. But Dave is the type of guy who you can go down a rabbit hole and he will truly give you his thoughts on life and motivation. And like, I leave his office quite often feeling a little different about leadership in a good way. Okay. And I appreciate that. So I had a friend tell me, because, I use analogies. I had a friend tell me, like, most of the time when you use an analogy, I don't understand you. And I've known that friend for like 13 years. So I walked into Aranda's office this year and I said, hey, what do you do? Because he's big on that, like, imagery and analogies and all that stuff, metaphors. And I go, what do you do with somebody who tells you they don't understand your analogies? His answer was 3 metaphors. I was like, I love this from you, Dave Aranda. And I stopped him in the middle of it. I was like, you do know that you just like went all over the place. And he was like, yeah, I can't help it.
McCall?
Yeah, I'm gonna eliminate like coaches that like I have friendships with that I've known for a long time. So we'll put that to the side. I'm with you on Coach Painter, Jason. Like sitting at practice, I was sitting next to Robbie Hummel, and him continuing to come over and just interact and joke and laugh. I mean, he's getting ready to play the #1 team in the country the next day. Was awesome to see. I got another one for you. Chris Holtman at DePaul.
Yeah. Good dude.
I mean, he is as good of a human being as there is in college basketball. I said it last night on air. The job that he's doing with that program that let's just call it like it is, was in shambles when he took it over. And what are they at? 8 wins right now in Big East play. And he spent 45 minutes with us after shoot around on the day that they played Creighton when they beat them at home. Coach Holtman, man, what a job, and just genuine, just not, doesn't take himself too serious, doesn't have all the answers, wants to come over, ask questions, interact. I'm super impressed with him.
I'll go Bill Self. I think he's a lot like Izzo in some ways, right?
Yeah, he totally is. He's got a lot of the same.
But you can go back, like Self and I really go back and forth. He'll rip on me, I'll rip on him. I'll call him out and he doesn't take offense to it. Like years ago, I remember when he had some subpar recruiting classes for Kansas. I remember calling him out for it, and he'll make fun of me for it, but who's kind of like that now a little bit with me is Grant McCaslin. He'll kill me. Like I called him a 10 seed last week, and he literally came on to an interview we did like this after they.
Why are you calling them a 10 seed? I know they lost to TCU, but why are they a 10 seed?
I said after they lost Toppin. Right. I said after they lost Toppin, I think if you had played the year out without JT Toppin, Texas Tech is a 10 seed. That's what they finished.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which didn't seem ridiculous and doesn't seem as ridiculous after last night's loss to TCU. It did seem ridiculous, 3 or 4 days ago.
Jeff, I love that your requirements for who you're rating are just whether you can talk shit to them, make fun of them, or they'll talk shit back to you. Yeah. Everybody else is like, oh, great guy, good to deal with. And all you're like, I can make fun of him. He can make fun of me. I can talk shit about him.
I just need a back and forth.
What are your prerequisites to be good? Like that's
Hurley.
What it is?
Like I like Hurley for that. Although Hurley and I.
A year ago, I would say that was not the case. You guys have really worked on your relationship.
Yes.
Like you really have.
We're okay today.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. How many coaches are you in counseling with, Jeff?
A lot.
A
lot.
How many coaches are you fixing the relationship? Because Matt just said it, right? Like you guys have worked on it. And the way he said it was a little like couples therapy. So how many coaches are you in couples therapy with?
I mean, Kay and I were for a while like that. That wasn't a great
one. What about Cal? You and Cal?
Cal, there's no counseling. There's no counseling that's going to fix it.
You and Cal.
Over. It's over.
So the relationship's over.
I mean, we've never had it. I mean, there's never been a relationship there. Like
who do you think does he dislike John Chaney or you more?
Well, John Chaney's dead. So I think it's me.
Oh, okay. Well, when John Chaney was living, I didn't realize he had passed away.
Those press conferences were unbelievable.
Oh,
yeah,
so good.
I've been in that press conference room.
I love Calhoun. I like Calhoun for that fact too. I love dealing with Jim because again, Jim would go back at you. Boeheim would go back at you. Like I enjoy that part of it, that they're going to call me out to my face rather than talk shit about me behind my back like I think Cal has done for 15 years.
No, they did that too. They also just called you out to your face.
Very true.
They did both.
Very true. Very true. All right. I got some questions here. We're going to go through a few of them. We're going to go through a few of them here and go around the horn. All right. So I'm going to start with who are you taking? You have to pick one of these 3 teams to win the whole thing. And we know who they are. Michigan, Arizona, or Duke. Hummel, you're going to start us off here. You have to pick one. Michigan, Arizona, or Duke to win the whole thing. Obviously, you don't know the bracket, but
if Kaysen didn't get hurt, I would be a lock into Michigan. 100%. I think that does affect them.
Yep.
But I'm going to stay with it. I'm gonna put my eggs into the LA Cadeau basket, and he has been good for a lot of the season. So I just the insulation that they have against poor shooting, and they actually they're not a bad shooting team, right? Like the size, the rebounding, the defense. I hate that Kaysen got hurt. The late February injuries were brutal. I can certainly relate to that. But I'll stay with Michigan. I just think they still have so many weapons. And I do think Trey McKinney can be a guy that elevates kind of his game here and maybe fills a little bit of what they're missing with Kaysen off the bench.
McCall?
Yeah, I feel like we're always going against Duke for whatever reason, and I don't really understand. But I'm with Robbie just in terms of the positional size. I think Coach Dusty May is going to look at those other guys. I think he's going to look at, Burnett and Roddy Gale and say, hey, like, you're vets, like you've been here before.
Yeah.
If you go back to the Purdue-Michigan game, late in the game when you felt like Purdue was going to make a run, who was in there? It was Kaysen and it was McKinney.
Yep.
It was those two guys. And, I mean, McKinney is terrific, but I think Coach May is going to turn to those two guys and say, hey, man, like this is like, let's go. Like we need you. I mean, because it's unfortunate, like Robbie said, just in terms of Kaysen was playing so well. Like so well. When Coach May took him to Michigan, getting out of his letter of intent to Florida Atlantic, everyone's like, really? Like, is that should you take him? Like he was going to FAU, now you're gonna bring him to Michigan? And he hit a different gear.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to like pick against Duke and even Arizona now that Cole Pete's back and he's playing. But I just think the size, I think the unselfishness that they play with and how they defend with Morrow on the inside, the best passing big in the country, it's hard to go against them.
Benetti?
Again, I would have said with LJ Kaysen healthy, I would have said Michigan, and they've blown so many teams out. You can't look past that. Duke beat them, and it's not just about that, right? Like Duke is their ability with their own length to close out from three. Like I Boozer obviously is National Player of the Year material. They offensive rebound well and they deny you on the offensive glass. I think that's important. Second chances in the tournament. My one fear about them is they just don't shoot it that well from the free throw line. I wonder if that'll be a problem for them, but they are, they're gonna be home. They're gonna be Greenville, and then, like I, I think Duke is probably going to win the thing, and I wouldn't have said that with LJ Kaysen healthy, but you know, if it's them versus Michigan and they've beaten Michigan with LJ Kaysen, I would say Duke, but I don't want to discount Arizona because I do think they're beasts. Like I think Tobe Awaka is one of the most underrated players in college basketball. I know he gets his due, but what he does for them is so unique and phenomenal that that's the kind of guy that gives you those like 20 minutes that you're like, man, I don't know. We just can't deal with him some nights.
Well, and what a change up off the bench, right, Jason? Like, and the sacrifice
Yes.
to be like, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, it is, as proven by you guys. Like, it's tough. I would lean towards Michigan before the Kaysen injury. And now I just feel like their margin for, I hate when a team goes in with one point guard. Like, it just scares the hell out of me that Cadeau is going to have one of those shooting nights again. And you don't have a guy like Kaysen to be able to put out. I thought he was the best backup point guard in the country.
But I think you can play McKinney there. I think you can play McKinney there. I think he'll be all right there.
He'll be fine.
I really do.
He'll be fine, but he can't do what Kaysen does.
You can. The example that I'm thinking of is, and I know it happened in game in the tournament, but the Chucky Hepburn injury, a couple years ago for Wisconsin, right? It's not the same. He was more of an engine for that team, but I agree with you, Jeff. The one point guard thing can get a little hairy because then you ask guys to change how they're calibrate. That was my fear of Christian Anderson with the top and stuff is like he's going to have to rewire his circuitry on the fly, and I don't know how easy that is.
Hard to do. I'm going Duke. I picked him in the preseason. I lost confidence in him a little bit in the middle of the year, but I think they're playing their best basketball right now. I mean, their defense is
crazy.
ridiculous.
That's a crazy statement to say for a team that is 2 possessions away from being undefeated.
I know. But they weren't blowing teams out for a while. If you remember, they were barely beating some teams, and we were kind of like, what's going on? It's the ACC. They should be blowing some of these teams out. They weren't. Now they are. Now they are again, and you see Dame Sarr having a big game here or there. Evans has been better. Gamba's terrific. Again, for me, the worry has always been point guard, and it's still the worry. It's still the worry for me. But again, I'm going to take Duke, frankly, because I want to be on Team Benetti and not Team Hummel and McCall as well. All right, next question.
I wish we could do like a thought bubble for Robbie's smirk. Like Robbie's had like a couple different smirks, and if only we could see what that was in the
What is it? Rob, what were you thinking?
God, I hate Jeff. God, Jeff is stupid. God, this is the worst. Those are the 3 of them.
Robbie's thinking.
They just
God,
rotate through. God, I wish I was
only have
playing
a few
golf.
more of these left before I
Yeah.
go out.
When is
Boy,
this
I wish I was
podcast
golfing.
over?
Right. This is it. Hey, Benetti, I hate working. That's
Yeah,
what that's
well,
a part of it.
I
hate working.
That's not true. That's
All
not
right,
true.
next. Number 1 pick, AJ dybantsa or Darryn Peterson. Who are you taking if you're the general manager and you look at everybody's like, I don't know if I want the number 1 pick. I kind of want somebody else to do it for me.
Right.
You want me to go first?
Yeah. Go ahead.
AJ dybantsa. It's not even a question. I don't even know what is going on with Kansas right now. First of all, that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. Doug Sermons, the king of just throwing people out of games.
He was ornery. He hadn't got any sleep.
He almost threw me out of an overtime game against Mercer.
Good for him.
2015.
Good
Almost
for him.
threw me out. Like he's just the king of doing that. But there's something going on that I keep saying it. I know they've won some games, but there is a chemistry issue amongst that team in that program right now. There is. I'm taking dybantsa, and I know
the chemistry issue is called Daddy Peterson. That's what the chemistry.
Whatever it may be. I don't know. I have no inside information. You have all your sources, okay? You're Mr. Sources according to my sources. I don't have any sources. I have the eye test. And I'm watching that team play, and I'm seeing staff members out there. They need to bring Norm Roberts back because Norm could be a calming force.
Norm doesn't want to go back.
No, if I'm Norm and I'm watching that, I don't want to go back either.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, this is. I don't even think it's a question. I think the bigger question is: would you take Boozer? Would you take Caleb Wilson? Would you take guys that are about the right things and about winning? And I'm not trying to question Darryn Peterson's character because I don't know the young man. Yeah. I have no idea. You got Jeff. I know you know him. I know Jordan Cornette, who's a colleague of ours at NBC.
He's a good kid.
Not a colleague.
He's
not
a good kid. He doesn't say much.
You don't work for NBC. The 3 of us work for NBC. Okay. Jordan Cornette played against his dad. Like, there's a relationship there. Like, I get it.
Strays here.
But there's something going on. So why would like the knock on Cam Boozer? Oh, he can't finish over length. Pull up the film against Michigan. Michigan's one of the biggest teams in the country. Yeah. He's a winner.
All right.
I'm
hitting the buzzer. Your time's up. We got to get this thing moving. I got a little bit. All right, Benetti, you're next.
Yeah, so I've been enamored with AJ dybantsa as well. Like, the explosiveness is beyond question.
Yep.
I was gonna say, if Matt didn't say it, how come we can't take Cam Boozer? He would be on my. I would include him in the conversation.
Would you take him one? Would you take him over?
No, I'd take dybantsa, the explosiveness for the NBA game and what he can do. And I also think, like, I'm real bad at projectability to the NBA. Like, I end up building these NBA boards when I'm filling in for the Blazers. And I'm like, man, he's in the league. I definitely didn't see that coming. Or, like, he's not in the league. I didn't see that coming. But I think AJ dybantsa, like, that Iowa State game, one of their best games of the year, he absolutely took over in a lot of ways. Shots were not falling from the outside from other places. And I almost think that he, like, in a Cooper Flag sort of way, is playing the game that he's afforded right now and like kind of has to play. And I just think the ceiling is beyond the scope of what we even know right now. That's what I would guess.
Yep. Rob?
Yeah, Darryn Peterson's about to have one of the most fascinating NBA combines ever. It's going to be the medical aspect and just kind of these teams trying to
psychological aspect.
And that too. Figure out what is going on. Can we take the chance to sink $500 million potentially into this guy? Like, I think when you're looking at that and mitigating the risk, you've got to go to dybantsa. I don't see how you can do that, in good conscience. And now the sad thing is that you could literally get fired because you make the risk assessment and you look at it, and then it turns out that, you know what, Darryn Peterson gets out of Kansas and everything ends up being okay. And then you're like, well, shit, I don't know. It's a really hard situation. I would go to dybantsa. It's a shame about Richie Saunders' knee injury, right? Like, it would have been really fun to watch those guys in a single elimination tournament with the talent they had in the backcourt to roll the balls out and see what happens. But and like with dybantsa's kind of archetype, 6'8", athletic wing, you got to go that. I just think you got to go there.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
Are you trying to follow everything happening in college basketball? It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for recruiting news, game analysis, portal updates, and much, much more. For just $50 a year, you get access to the same information that your favorite coaching staff is subscribed to. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help. Make sure you subscribe today.
Today's episode of the Field of 68 is sponsored by Chubbies. Right now, I'm literally wearing their Everywhere pants. They are comfortable and stretchy to the point that it feels like I got on sweatpants in a business setting. I'm also a big fan of their classic line swim trunks. The built-in boxer brief liner is comfy, supportive, and most importantly, chafe-free. I had to get multiple pairs because I wore them every day down the shore last summer. This is year 15 for Chubbies as a business, and they are celebrating it by bringing back the shorts that started it all. The same iconic fit, the same lightweight and stretchy comfort-first design. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code F68 at chubbiesshorts.com. Give your thighs the VIP treatment they deserve with Chubbies. Support our show and tell them we sent you.
It all ends here. April 6th, the national champion is going to be crowned right here in this building, Lucas Oil Stadium.
Make sure you follow along Field of 68. We have shows every single night after dark. It's the place to be to follow everything college hoops.
Streaming on YouTube, we're on SiriusXM Channel 84. Selection Sunday, we got a 6-hour marathon. We're going to be at all the Power 4 conference tournament games. We're going to be at the second week of the tournament, and we'll meet you guys right here in Indianapolis to crown a national champion.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever get there, Gus. I think I'm there. I think I'm finally, it took me till now, but I think I'm finally there.
So long.
I've seen Darryn play enough, and I like him as a kid, and I want to stick up for him, and I've seen the things he can do. He doesn't look like himself at all. Like, even though he's averaging what he's averaging, it's like they stick him in the corner on the right wing, and he doesn't really guard anybody. He's not great defensively. Last night, he was better. He was actually better than I think I've seen him. But again, obviously, they didn't play well last night at Arizona State. They lose. I would obviously, like Rob said, a lot of it depends on the medical and psychological testing and the digging that these teams are going to do and talk to everybody around this kid.
I would love to know, Jeff, the questions he's going to get. Because even some of the questions that everybody else gets in some of these meetings are comical. Like some of the weirdest things you can ever imagine, so I can't even fathom what they're going to
I said this last week to Matt, and one of the things that I think has spooked him a little bit, he had an episode from my sources, like a full body cramps episode in the preseason.
Sources.
So I do think that has gotten him scared and spooked when he starts.
Like the rolling thunder of your whole body is in cramp? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So again, I'm sure his dad, his team is telling him, hey, when you start to feel it, I mean, the last thing the world would want to see, if you're trying to protect this kid is, right, like he goes into that on the court and something like that happens.
But that's one of those things where you hope that, like, if that's truly the case, that you can go to like a Gatorade or a sports science place and be like, what is happening? I mean, but that's, again, if you're going to sink the #1 pick in a year where there's all these guys that are qualified, that's a massive concern. If nobody can figure that out, that's scary stuff.
Well, I think there's some limitations to being able to figure it out, and I'll leave it at that. But all four of us, yes, I think I'm finally there with AJ, taking AJ over Darryn Peterson at this point. All right, the next one. All right, the NCAA tournament. 64, 68, 72, or 76. You get your pick. Benetti, I'm going to start with you on this one. What do you want? You were in bracket school with me. We were in bracket school together here.
Bracket school.
We were the delinquents in bracket.
The worst class.
Why do we
the worst class of bracket
Benetti
school.
was not very focused. He was easily he was looking all over the place. He's got ADD. I mean, I don't know if he's been diagnosed.
Always.
Definitely a baby.
My eyes are always everywhere. I'm always looking all over the place. That's not new. We just haven't been in person that much. So having gone to law school, I know that I can reject the premise of the question. And the thing that I am concerned about most with the NCAA tournament is not the number of teams. It is that we allow for the best thing in this tournament to exist, which is the idea that you can, as a mid to low major, have a day and beat a big team.
Yes.
It's the reason we all grew up watching this thing. It's the reason we love it. Like Steve Murfeld getting hoisted up on Hampton's shoulders in Boise, Idaho, beating Iowa State, like Coppin State and Fang Mitchell over South Carolina. Like those are indelible memories for those programs. And it is everything we want, I think, in America. Like, I think everybody wants to believe that on their best day, they can do something that nobody will ever forget. It's the reason we love no-hitters. It's the reason we love perfect games. That is the type of thing that matters so much to people. So if you're going to expand it, we got to have metrics like WOB, like we got to have it so that auto bids don't just put you in Dayton to knock each other out. Like, I don't want to see the first weekend to be St. Louis versus Miami, Ohio. I don't. I was looking back at it because we had USC the other day. Earl Boykins is on staff over there, right? Where's Earl? Earl's at USC, right? USC. Yeah, I'm running them together. But Eastern Michigan, the year that Earl went to the tournament, is a 9 seed. They were a 9 seed at 24-4. Wow. There is no chance that ever happens again with the schedule that they had. So like I just don't like the fraying at the edges of the mid majors because I think that's what we love most about the tournament. So I will stump for that all day, every day. So if you're going to expand the tournament to 76, just don't have them all play each other. I'm not going to stand for that.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that. Rob?
Who do you want to go now? Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I don't actually even, if you're going to expand and make Tuesday and Wednesday bigger so that it's more like Thursday and Friday and there's games all day, I don't hate that. I'm with Jason. I don't want to see teams that go 0-14 in quad one games be like, you know what? Well, they get in because we've just expanded the field. If we're going to give more mid-major schools opportunities, like the whole conversation about Miami, Ohio right now is fascinating because it's hard to fathom you could go undefeated. I don't care who you play. You win 26 out of 26 games. That is an accomplishment. Now, do I understand there's D2 opponents in there? Yes. Do I know that there's not any quad one games? Yes, I do know that. But I also know for Miami, Ohio, it's very hard to get those games. Like you can play some bye games, and I don't know. But still, like the probability of winning bye games on the road is not high. It's not like they're getting somebody to come into, what's their stadium called? Millett Hall, or what's Miami, Ohio? Is that right?
I don't even know.
Millett Hall, yeah.
Millett Hall, yeah. Good job, Jeff. Way to know the game.
Never been there. Never been there.
But they're not getting people walking in there that are high major opponents to play them. So I totally get that aspect of it. But I also realize that there is a criteria to make the tournament as an at-large. So I'm torn on that, but I do agree that we are killing the best part. And maybe I say that because I was a ball boy for Homer Drew growing up, and I saw how impactful it was for our, not just like fans of the team, but the community. Like that was such a big deal when Bryce made the shot against Ole Miss. And for the next week and a half of the media coverage, and CBS is filming in, Valparaiso, Indiana, that was like, this is incredible, right? Like it really was. So I hope that if we're going to expand, more of those teams are included, but I know the power players in the sport, and you just think if there's expansion, it just means that the Big Ten and the SEC and the Big 12, their fringe teams are probably going to get in. And that's not really what I want to see because they get the opportunity. And I also think, in my last thought on this, making the tournament is cool because it's exclusive. And if we start just allowing 72, 76, it's not really that much of an accomplishment for the high majors because some of these teams won't even have to have that many good wins. So I'm with Jason. I'm rolling with, I want to see, if we do expand, make it more mid-major representation. And it's hard enough for those guys as our sport has kneecap them in retention and funding and all of that, but that's kind of where I stand on all of that.
Matt?
Same page, because I think some of these high major teams that are on the bubble are checked out. Like they're checked out. And I think Mike LaTulip said it last night on the Field of 68 just about that, and he covers Miami of Ohio, so he knows that program well. And it kind of became a thing, Auburn versus Miami of Ohio, because of Coach Bruce Pearl's comments and what he said. I understand what Coach Bruce Pearl's doing. His son's now the coach. You have to, but like that team's checked out. I know they beat a bad LSU team, but it was not going well up to that point in time. It wasn't going well. So you're going to reward a team that, do they even really want to be there? Do those players even want to be there? Or are they already in the portal in their mind and saying, I'm going somewhere else? Like, this is enough. I'm not dealing with this anymore. Or a VCU team in Phil Martelli Jr.'s first year is like, hey, if that team sneaks into the NCAA tournament out of the A-10, how hard they play. They knock off George Mason last night. St. Louis is going to win the league, but like, would you want to see them? Or you want to see Auburn, who's a checked out team? I'd rather see Auburn.
Yeah.
Because I know that right now, like, who knows where they're at mentally? Where is that locker room at? Like, what's going on? And I'm not trying to crush Coach Stephen Pearl by any means, but it's just like, I'm with Robbie. Don't reward those bubble teams in the high majors that, do they really care? Do they really want to be there? Or are they already on to their next spot where they're going to lose in the first round? What happened with Carolina last year? How'd that go? Like, how did that, like, nobody wanted Carolina. Like, everyone's like, why are they in? Well, you can't reward these teams that maybe are in that mid-major level or don't take away anything from them. But what are you going to do with I mean, you're part owner of the Field of 68. You're going to change your name? Are you going to do that?
I've said this. I mean, did the Big Ten change its name? You know, do
No.
they have 10 teams?
You're a brand. You're a brand.
I would be
Jeff. Stay
concerned
with
about
it.
that for you.
Stay
Right,
with
I'm
it,
going to
Jeff.
stick with it. I'm sticking with our brand.
Let me say that. Let me say this about the whole deal here. I'm gonna get a little bit personal,
Okay.
but like, let me say this. Like, so in my career, right? I'm a guy with cerebral palsy. I look a little weird. I don't walk like everybody else, right? The only thing that I have is to make the work as good as humanly possible. I'm not about to walk into a room and say to anybody like, "Hey, I'm here," and then they hand me a job. I'm not going to go shoot 68 with Robbie at Augusta whenever he gets in. Like, that's not going to happen for me, right? But the deal is this. Like, don't we want a society where if you're good enough, it doesn't matter the name on your jersey or what you
Yes.
look like or what, like, isn't that the whole point of this society where like whatever you become is kind of because you did it? So like, I don't want to hear the crap about Miami not being a worthy team. They're 30-0. It is hard to go 30-0 any given day with 30 interactions with other human beings. We are all fallible. Every human being falls at some point. Every human being does. They haven't. What are we doing if we're talking about 16-14 Auburn instead of Miami, Ohio at 30-0? Now, if they lose 2 games against that schedule, I totally get it. I really do get it because you do have to weigh the schedule and you don't want to incentivize that. But if people told me, hey, your work's great and you've done everything we asked, but we're going to recycle this other guy that we know is average, what am I even doing this for? What is the purpose? And the answer is because we want to have people be unique and stand out and do things that we've never seen before. Why would we not incentivize that? That's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that, again, I wish they had played a couple mids, good mids.
Totally.
Because
I
they had their
agree.
players back. They had everybody back. They've got money, all of that. So they could have. I think they could have. But you know what? If they did, maybe they lose one of them. Maybe they lose both. And so Travis Steele, I don't know if he played the system. Because again, like nobody thought they'd win every game this year. And
Well, they've also their comebacks have been insane, right? Like they've had some comeback wins that are remarkable.
Listen. The tournament is all about the Cinderellas. I've gone up. I've gone at Greg Sankey about this. Like if you try to have a tournament that doesn't have as many, low and mids, you're going to lose the common fan. That's what you're going to lose here.
Well, because Jeff, most people's favorite days are Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
Because games are all day and the upsets happen, and
What it's
and
all
this
about.
is what.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's the last piece too on Miami of Ohio. We're all talking about them.
Yeah.
Everybody in the country is talking about them.
Yeah.
Everybody. So what does that do for the teams that are playing against them? They're getting everybody's best shot against bad MAC teams. Bad.
Yeah.
They're getting their best shot. And they're in these close games because the expectations, they're feeling it. I mean, Travis Steele broke a speaker because of those expectations. It's weighing on them at times. And they're getting everybody's best shot. So because we're all talking about it. And a team that's ranked number 19th in the country on March 4th, we're sitting here saying if they lose one game, they're not in? Are you kidding me?
Two things, Matt. You're dead on. Two things. One, I watched the end of that game last night. They ran a nasty set to get a little pocket pass for 2 at the end of that game. They actually run stuff. So watch the games. Two, Matt, you were at Chattanooga. I went down a rabbit hole earlier today. I watched the Miami, Ohio Wally Zerbia. It's on YouTube, the Miami versus Utah game. And then I went down the Johnny Taylor Chattanooga Sweet 16 rabbit hole from 97. And I mean, you were at that school, right, for a couple years. Like, that's a point of pride, I have to imagine, that they ended up making the Sweet 16. Like, you're making programs with one run.
100%. 100%. And like, I mean, and two, like you think about what Coach Steele's dealing with every day with this program, with the expectations that like he's going to be in close games in the tournament. Like it's remarkable.
The pressure
Shout out to
cooker.
Johnny Taylor, by the way.
It's a great one.
The
big time scorer. Big time scorer.
All right, let's move on. I got one more.
One more thing,
ahead,
Jeff. The pressure cooker that they're facing has to be pretty wild within their locker room. But I will say, I turned on the Miami, Ohio, Western Michigan game because I was waiting to watch Michigan, Illinois, and I turned it on right at halftime and literally watched Travis Steele go nuclear on the refs, push over the speaker, and then watch guys run after him. And then saw on Twitter after I changed the channel that he said he didn't know why he got attacked. I was like, oh my, this was awesome. That was a great 6 minutes of tuning in that I did there. Really good viewership.
All right. We got a few more minutes. I want to go around the horn quickly on these. Maybe two more. We'll see. Maybe one. Your biggest sleeper in the tournament is who? It can't be a team in the top 4 or 5 seeds. So I'll read them off kind of as we have them now. You can't pick, obviously, Duke, Arizona, Michigan, UConn, Florida. You can't pick Iowa State, Illinois. You can't pick Gonzaga. You can't pick Houston, Texas Tech, Nebraska even, Vandy, Tennessee, Arkansas. These are all 5s. Basically, anything beyond a 5 seed, I think you're okay with as a sleeper, but 5s take you to, top 20-ish. So find me a sleeper. Anybody who has one can speak up.
Is St. John's in that, Nick? Because you guys at the fielding of 68.
St. John's is a 6. Yes, you could take St. John's as a 6. That's acceptable answer.
Did you see Zuby Ejiofor? Now listen, Georgetown, Ed Cooley's going to watch that film from last night and be like, we should have won the game because there's defensive possessions where it's just quit, gave up. It's like the game's on the line. But Zuby Ejiofor is, man, the motor that he plays with, being able to play through him on offense. Dylan Darling's playing better. Ian Jackson was outstanding against Villanova. Unbelievable on-ball defense. I mean, that's a good Villanova offensive team. Yeah. Senior night last night, it's emotional. They didn't play good in the first half. They ranked it up, and they turned it up defensively in the second half, started denying the wings more. Them and UCLA, I'm still I had UCLA in the Final Four in the preseason. I thought the transfer of Dent coming in there, shot 41% for New Mexico, won a game in the NCAA tournament last year. He's just not – he hasn't been the same guy. The leagues are different. I totally get it. But how good were they defensively last night? Jeff, if you actually stayed up and watched basketball until 12:30 last night, you may have actually saw it.
I was asleep. I'm not.
Yeah, we did.
I was asleep. I had to prepare for this podcast. I mean, that takes me getting up.
Started at noon. That started at noon. Okay, that's fine. So those would be the two for me. Illinois and UCLA.
I asked for one and you give 2, of course. Yeah. You never pay attention. You never follow the rules. Anyway, all right. Following the rules is hard, Matt. I understand.
Winning is hard.
Winning is hard, so is following the rules. Benetti, what do you got? Who do you got?
So he picked 2, I'll pick 2. I can't stump for the mid-majors and not give you a mid-major, so I'm going to go High Point. They have ravaged the Big South once again this year. Their turnover rate is ridiculous. They create turnovers. They don't give it away. They're not sort of that slapdash. I've just watched them a couple times here and there. They're not that slapdash 13 seed. They're good enough on the defensive end, I think, to give some people problems. My major team that's in the 7 to 10 range that I think could easily win 2 games is Wisconsin.
Okay.
Those 2 guards
Yeah,
can go
that's a good call.
bonkers on a given night. I mean, John Blackwell and Nick Boyd sort of alternate halves sometimes, right? So you get 15 from one in the first half, and then the other one hits 4 threes, and you're like, I don't know where the shrapnel's coming from.
Yeah.
That's a big piece because if they're going to do that and they're going to have alternating runs in them and then play together sometimes, that feels a little bit like a second weekend upset pick. And that blowout of Michigan State opened my eyes.
Yeah. Well, and Jason, the way they beat Michigan too. Like if their other guys, whether it's Rapp or
Bielskis is going to hit 5 threes.
Yeah. But like you've got some guys that are capable from a skill perspective of stepping up and having a day like that. So Wisconsin's a great call. I'm not as qualified to talk about the ACC because my viewing of it is so limited with work. But I do think Caleb Wilson's return with North Carolina, massive game, obviously, with Duke. And I can't even try to say that I've watched them a ton.
You're taking them as a sleeper? You're going to take North Carolina as a sleeper?
There are 6. I just looked at the bracket talent. Dude, you want to talk National College Basketball? I've done 8 games in 11 days. I don't know what the hell is going on outside of what I watch. So, yeah, do whatever. You take it. Talk about whoever.
All right, Robbie's taking Carolina. If
Dude, they're a 6 seed.
He just
You
found
said
out
it.
about Caleb Wilson. He just learned who
6
Caleb Wilson was the other day.
All right, let me say that. Let me say this before we go off the rails and Robbie catches any heat for this. I know that if he ends up with them in the tournament, he will have watched 5 of their games. So, like, I don't want Carolina fans coming back here and going, he doesn't even know the team. You hear what he said?
Well,
he doesn't even watch them. That's his
Jason,
deal.
I hope I get to work with you, not Jeff, moving forward. That would be great for me. I hope.
All right, my pick.
I love Jeff.
I'm going to pick one team.
I don't love it.
Whoever says that.
By the way, when you were talking,
I'm just cutting promos for him. I'm his Bobby Heenan.
When you were talking about the little guy earlier, the little guy, giving the little guy a chance, and what's better than St. Peter's and UMBC, and the better is me beating Robbie Hummel in pickleball. That was like the greatest upset ever. That was.
It would be great if I could just.
How many weeks for the Final Four? How many weeks till the Final Four? I can't wait.
4, 5.
I regret saying
bring your paddle.
I love Jeff.
If you don't bring your paddle, McCall, and Hummel's got a new paddle that supposedly allows him to be able to spin the ball. I'm so worried. I'm so scared.
My dad is a pickleball savant. That's what he said. So I trust his opinion over your stupid ass.
My team, St. Mary's. St. Mary's. They are on a heater. They just beat Gonzaga. They've got really, really, really good guard play that, maybe a lot of people, Mikey Lewis is terrific and Joshua Dent. And, oh, by the way, obviously Moraskis has been awesome all year. Second best player in that league this season. And, oh, by the way, they have like a top 10 coach in America. Like, I really believe Randy Bennett is a top 10 coach in America that nobody would put him there. But when you go down the list and you're like, what he did and what he's done to win 4 straight, at least a share of 4 straight WCC regular season titles, it's insane. Absolutely insane. So Randy Bennett, to me, again, and those guards, I'll take them. All right. Appreciate you joining us, Benetti. I know it's a big day for you. I hope you looked at the bank account maybe today and can help out some other people that aren't making it. I mean, Hummel claims poverty every week. It's poverty. You don't pay me enough. And I break it down for him and show him how much money he makes per minute doing this pod. He is so ridiculously overpaid. It's not even funny.
I think that Jeff and Dauster are the Bernie Madoffs of podcasting. I think that's what's happening here. That's my opinion, but that's fine.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. Look at that hair. That hair does not at all. Take up your hat, Rob. Like your hair does it never goes. They should have had it spiking up.
Dude,
No.
It's the college version, dude. It's college.
He had bangs. He had bangs when he was hooping. He had bangs. That was like it was.
Yeah, that was my goal. Be the best
Good
hooper
thing,
with
Rob,
bangs ever.
is while your hands and your arms are gone, your knees are still intact. So
Okay.
that'll allow you to go on with your life. Thanks again, Benetti. Appreciate it, man. Great having you on. Hope to see you soon. Congrats again. And